All right, all right, all right. Looks like we're live and ready to get started. So, good morning. Happy, what are we? Thursday. I'm actually planning to get. I would normally do this on Friday, but I'm planning to get out of town tomorrow into some cooler weather. So I figured I would do this. And in this truth be told, I'm losing my train of thought already. I was planning to do this yesterday. Sorry, I'm rearranging all my windows just to make sure everything looks exactly like it should. I was planning to do this yesterday, and someone told me, hey, half the world is asleep right now, because I always have these ideas in the afternoon. And I was like, all right, well, I'll do it first thing tomorrow morning, and go from there. So first and foremost, welcome everybody. It looks like we've got about 60-ish people that are jumped in. One of the things I keep forgetting to tell people, hit the subscribe button. I just started this YouTube channel about 5-6 months ago. And someone's like, dude, you got to tell people to hit this. So hit this. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. I'm producing all kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, I saw a bunch of people that are, from Egypt, from, Europe. Thank you for jumping in. So, by the way, I did this in the morning for you. So topic for today is what certification should you get in 2020? And it seems like an odd topic. Save the host. Sorry, these chats are going to kill me. But it seems like an odd topic to talk about because we're almost midway through 2020. The world is in chaos as we look around, and here I am talking about certifications. What spurred on the idea is, and what I'm going to frame for a lot of this conversation is this. I'm actually going to put the link to this in the description once I get a good link, because I know Robert Half has different paths to this guide. I want to make sure I do it the right way. And one of the things that he has in here, and this is what we're going to be talking. It's pretty much, what are the salaries for, and by the way, this guide is insane. And what I mean by that is some of the things that they're saying. Oh, right there. That's going to be what frames a lot of the conversation. I just wanted to get it to the right place. It's so good to see all of you. I'm looking at some of the comments, like reality hits you hard, bro. It's so good to have a lot of you that have taken a lot of my classes, seen a lot of my videos, and sorry, but been involved in a lot of my random, where is he going now, discussion. So let me jump straight to the point. And I'm going to talk about two things right now. What certification you should get in 2020, why I'm talking about this. I'm going to hit it hard with here's my thoughts on that. And then I just want to open it up to discussion, because I was honestly planning to pre-record this video yesterday and just play it. And I was like, this is such a discussion topic. Like this is so please, there's now 117 people here. Hit the subscribe button. I'm supposed to say that. Hit the subscribe button, right? 117 people here. I want to have a discussion with you on what your thoughts are. That's why I'm doing this as a live stream, is right? So please chat in, and we'll go straight into that. Francisco coming straight out of CBT Nuggets. Well done, Francisco. Okay, hang on. Let me get my thoughts. So, like I said, I'm going to frame it based on this right here, which is the Robert Half technology, salaries, and what are people looking for in 2020. Now, Robert Half, first off, let me just frame it. Robert Half is a staffing company. They help people find jobs. Good for them. And they found a lot of success in publishing this yearly annual update once a year. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about this, because a lot of this is what I get a lot, is people will come straight to this. They'll scroll right down past all the text. They're like, blah, 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 blah. And they'll go straight to this, which is the salaries. And they're like, what? I should be making dollars. Like the salaries, first off, are insane. And what I mean by that is, people will, like right here, it says web developer. A starting salary for a web developer is $86,000. Start streaming. All right, let's see if we can get a good stream going here. Waiting. All right. It tells me my stream health is excellent. You guys there? Can you see me? Are we good? Yes. Ahmed, thank you. Michael, thank you. Gustavo, good. That was great. So I started the stream, stopped the stream, started the stream, stopped the stream, and here we are. Good. Oh, good. All right. Good. We lost half the viewers, but that's all right. That's all right, because you guys are the dedicated ones that stay through the technical issues. All right, good. All right, good. Whew. I was like, man, I don't want this thing to die. All right, well, okay. So let me, after that, obviously my brain is a bit scrambled. Let me, okay, good, better. Okay, great. Everybody, yes, we're good. Great. Okay, so let's, hey, look, and everybody's coming back. We're back up to 83 folks. So slowly but surely, we should be good. Okay, good. Bam, back in the zone. Okay, so, yeah, way better than Minecraft, right? Okay, so, thank you, Eric. I needed that. Okay, so now, restarting. What I'm I've only got an hour. I've got till 9 o'clock, and I have a conference call. So I'm going to jump into that. Let's talk money. Good idea. So here's what I'm talking about. This is the Robert Half Technology Survey, and I think once I started showing this is where everything just started falling apart. So it's working. Okay, good. So just want to make sure that all is well. So you can Google this and download it. And let me. It's lagging again. Shoot. All right. Buffering has returned. Gone again. Good grief. Says Jeremy in the chat. And it's back. And it's still lagging. All right. Now I'm back again. I think. How are we looking now? Okay, so every time this happens, I lower my output bandwidth yet another level. I'm down to T1 speeds at this point. So if it's lagging 10 seconds, it's network chuck hacking your stream. Now it's stopped again. So here's the challenge. Okay, you can see me. Need a network engineer. Yes, we do need a network engineer. Who can find one right now? Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you. Yes, I've been growing this. All right, so I'm all of 12 pixels. So yeah, I keep. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate. Okay, so all this time it was Chuck behind the scenes hacking. So I'm going to go with the pixely video because that's better than buffering and no video whatsoever. And we'll go from there. Okay, so. I'm standing on this shaky ground. I'm making sure that we're all good. Okay, it's nice though. Thank you. All right. So, last time, if I can't lower the bandwidth any lower than what I've got, this is going to be what I'm talking about. Is this Robert Half salary guide? Yes, you can't see me because I'm showing you a salary guide. So this is the salary guide. This is what spurred on the thoughts I was having yesterday on what certifications are the most valuable. And in this, hoping you guys can still see me, this right here is what I'm talking about. These top certifications, this list of certifications that Robert Half is naming as the top. Is in this list, and I wanted to talk about these guys. And hang on, I'm seeing all the comments. It just with all of the madness of no video, and now we have video. We're good now, yeah. You guys can see me. I'm glancing back and forth. There's 150 people. It looks like that are there. Okay, good. I'm gonna go with the fact that you guys can see me and all is good. And now it's warning me. I'm getting a little warning. It's like, hey, your bit rate is too low. We recommend you up your bandwidth. Well, it's because of you, YouTube. I did this. Okay, good. So if it's pixely, my apologies. But okay, good. Thank you, guys. So coming back to this right here, the Robert Half salary survey, 2020. This is what spurred on the thought that I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to tell you is if you go download this, and I'm going to post the link to it when it's all said and done, this is insane. Meaning if you scroll down here, and this is what I was saying when it started getting all choppy. Maybe I was trying to edit me. If you scroll down on this thing, you'll see things like, let me scroll down a little bit more. A web developer, which I know a lot of you listening to me right now, starting salary is $86,000 a year. As you get more experience, I mean, by the time it's said and done, you should, really experienced web developers should be making about $150,000. And that may or may not be true, but a lot of folks that I'm talking to right now that are just starting their career in technology will see something like that and be like, I'm making 86 grand out of the gate because I know, HTML tags. I can do a CSS, file. It's not true. So I want to steer you away from the salaries in this. And sure, you can look at it. But the main thing I want to talk about is this, because here's what I'm seeing. So first off, let's start on the right of this survey. They're showing the first thing. These are the most valuable certifications. I've got to say, this one right here that they put at the top, so first off, this is alphabetical. It's not like, oh, that one's the top. I had to look that one up. I was like, I didn't even know there was a certified data professional. So it's a thing. CDP made it to the top. Woohoo! It's a thing, but look at this right here. Bam. There's a big block of Cisco certified, internet network expert, network associate. There's our CCNA. I know a lot of you are going after that. CCNP. It's, smack dab as the most associate. And then right below this is the Microsoft certifications. Again, big chunk of this. This guy is the only one that made the list from CompTIA, the A+. And the reason why is because with the A+, you get started in technology. This is where you get your first job. You learn how to work with computers. You learn the why of computers, the premise of networks, how people work together in operating systems. So there's that. But here's the interesting thing. Look at this. Hang on. Come over here to the in-demand skills and expertise, and something is wrong. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that should say networking, but it doesn't. It says .NET. Okay, Agile and Scrum. Okay, this is project management. AI, artificial intelligence, Angular, Apache. Okay, there's some sysadmin. The feel as you start looking at these top expertise. Exactly, Salim. Where's networking? Where is it in this? And yet over here in the demand certifications, there's this big glob of networking certifications. So there's a mismatch. So here's, and if I scroll up a little bit, it's like, hey, here's the technology positions that are in high demand. And if you look at this, it's, pretty much, there's your network guys, right? There's guys and gals. There's your, all of it, but that list is pretty much anything. So here's the feeling I'm getting. Sorry if video is a little bit weak. I'm seeing a couple comments on that. Here's my feeling on all of this. It's not dying, Ezekiel. It's not dying. It's just becoming easier and more automated. It's becoming, so for the networks of today, and I was just having this conversation with, who was I talking to? I went to Cheesecake Factory with a guy who runs a cabling company. And he's like, yeah, I'm starting to get into networking. He's like, honestly, what everybody wants nowadays is just straight internet access. It's, the whole idea, like he ran a network cabling company. He's like the whole idea of layer 3 switching, of a lot of the advanced stuff that used to be what would really culminate a lot of the CCNP. A lot of that people just aren't asking for now. So I'm going to frame that. Networking is not dying. In a matter of fact, it's flourishing. Because everybody needs a network. Everybody needs a reliable network. It's just becoming a lot simpler. That's why you've seen, if you've been following my channel, by the way, hit the subscribe button. I got to keep reminding myself. Hit the subscribe button. Twitch. So if you've seen, I've been putting a lot of Ubiquity videos out there, and that's because companies like Ubiquity that pretty much offer equipment that doesn't do a quarter of what Cisco equipment does, but it does the quarter that everybody wants. It does basic routing and switching, and most of the UniFi gear doesn't even do layer 3 switching. You have to go to the service provider gear that they have to get layer 3 switching. And that's the reason why is because in businesses nowadays, a lot of the inter-VLAN traffic is fading as everything moves to the cloud. Everything's going the direction of the internet. So you'll have your VLANs, your voice VLAN, your different client VLANs, but you're not having a lot of the super advanced stuff. Now again, as you move into the larger companies, Ryan, a lot of the chats as they pop up are like, Ryan, it flagged you as like a spammer. So a lot of the companies that are larger, Fortune 500, et cetera, that have a massive server farm, that have their own data center, you need advanced. Again, I'm going to come back to this survey. And again, sorry if it's a little blurry, it's the bit rate. But that's why still the top certifications on this list are CCNP, CCIE, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is because you do need a lot of the advanced networking experience. But as networks continue to get more and more reliable, a lot of times the networking folks are becoming like, I'll come in, I'll set it, and then I'll walk away to go do something else. It's only in rapidly growing companies where they're deploying networks left and right and things like that, that a lot of times that full-time career is there. And that's why if you look here at a lot of the in-demand skills and expertise, there's a little bit of a mismatch. It's like, this is all programming. And now I'm going to cross that out. And the reason why they took our jobs, look at the chat. The reason why I'm going to cross out programming, I'm going to put scripting here. I went to college for computer science, which is all programming. I talk about if-then loops. That's what I did 30 years ago when I was in college classrooms, sitting there going, what is the point of this? This is insane. And that's where I left and got into the system administration and networking and all of that. And now I find myself coming full circle. But it's not so much full circle that I'm going, I'm going to become a programmer. It's more of like, okay, this is now making sense. Okay, so for instance, right now, I'm doing a series on Netbox. Not many people have heard of it. It's an IP address management platform, and I'm walking through how to set it up on Linux, how to get Python 3 scripts running so that you can automate a lot of your monitoring system. Take PRTG for example. You create an object in there, and it automatically adds it to the IP address management. So it's not that networking is going away. Not at all. Networking is growing, if anything is going on. That's why it's 3 of the Cisco certifications are at the top of the list. What's happening is all the systems are kind of blurring into one. Think of, and I'm gonna say this, and then I honestly just want to talk questions and find. I want to hit a lot of the questions that are coming in because I'm seeing some great ones. If you look at AWS and Azure and DigitalOcean and all of these different places that are doing cloud stuff. Essentially, a lot of the networking stuff is still there. You still create VLANs, but they GUIize it, right? You need the concept of what a VLAN is. You need to know why you would create one, the design of it and all that. But when you're in AWS, you're like, okay, I'm going to create this, this partition. They kind of hide the VLAN concept behind fancy words. The networking is happening. It's just a lot more automated. So if I fast forward 20 years, you're going to have networks in businesses always. You need one to get to the internet, right? But as things go increasingly cloud, the networks of businesses are set it and forget it. Like it's a, so I'm looking at the chat. Someone's like, one. It's a set it and forget it kind of mindset, right? So the advanced networking is really moving to a lot of the data center world. So hang on, I'm gonna put the user in timeout. That's putting 1111. There we go. So let me take. So I have so many more thoughts. So I'm just gonna start with Zed Keel's question. Forget the CCIE. No, don't. If you have a CCIE, you have a massive lead to any network opportunity that you want. However, you're specialized, meaning people realize they're going to pay a high dollar, a $300 an hour kind of $200 an hour consulting cost for you. And most of the time, that's exactly what you'll be as a CCIE. You'll either hire on to one of the Fortune 500 companies, or you'll end up consulting. You go in, you set up networks, you spend 40 hours doing that, make a ton of money, and then go on to the network, because people know exactly what you have. Trust me, I'm a CCIE. I know it. I know that there's so many opportunities when you have a CCIE. So I wouldn't just say no. Don't go after the CCIE. And Cisco doesn't pay me to say that at all. So let me. I'm going to scroll back up because there's been a lot of great questions. So I want to hit Adahars. Forgive me if I'm ruining the pronunciation. He's saying, no job. Network automation will take out thousands of network engineering jobs. No, it won't. The reason I say that is network automation has been a thing for decades. I remember talking about automation. I mean, have you ever booted a Cisco device without a configuration and notice what it's doing? I don't know if you've done Cisco. The first thing that you see when you boot a device with no configuration is TFTP, 255.255.255.2, and it's like network config, TFTP. What's it doing? The device is broadcasting for a configuration because back 20 years ago, when I was getting into Cisco, they were automating deployments. You had 50 branch offices. They wanted it set up to where you could just plug in a Cisco router. It would broadcast for a TFTP server, find one, download its config, and set itself up based on a pre-scripted world that you have. The idea of using Python to automate is nothing new. It's just a different way of doing the same thing. So network automation is not, it's not like, there goes the profession. I'm out of here. Network engineers are dead. It's not true. You're like, network automation is like, this is how we do a lot of deployments a lot more efficiently than we used to do it, right? So I hear that all the time of like, it's dead. No, networking is very alive and very well. So everything is slowly transitioning to software. I want to grab Melkor's statement there. So slowly transitioning to software in the sense that you can, so again, network concepts are still there, still huge. But for instance, you can do VLANs in VMware. You can set up an ESXi server and do VLANs within that. You can go build a free software-based switch, and that's because the processors have caught up to where ASICs used to be. ASICs used to be like, this is how you do everything, and ASICs, by the way, are still alive and well, doing network commands in the hardware, so they can go lightning speed. But our processors have caught up to that. So the concepts of networking in there, and you're still going to have to build good, solid, reliable networks. There's just going to be a lot of different ways to do it, and that's so. Let me come back to this, and then I'm gonna jump back to and thank you, Xenogen. I'm so sorry on the names. Saying networking skills are a must. I don't see that ever changing. But network engineers need to learn scripting along with the skill sets nowadays, which I hate. Yeah, and I get it. This is the idea. Networking is becoming just a bigger way of doing it. So I'm going to say some things, and it may sound shocking. What you're about to hear may sound shocking. I don't know if Cisco as an organization 10 years from now will look like Cisco as the organization is right now. They have been a dominant force to bring network stuff where it is, right? However, there's a lot of organizations that are catching up, and a lot of open source stuff that is catching up. It's not that networking is going away. It's that the domination of Cisco may be going away, and maybe not. Again, this is anybody. I mean, take a look. 5 years ago, everybody's like, Microsoft is gone. Like I was getting that job. People were like, Microsoft is gone, forget it. And you know what? The number one demand certification right now is Microsoft. The number two demand certification right now is Microsoft. And Microsoft is growing. It's huge because Microsoft has reinvented themselves. You can install Linux on Microsoft. Microsoft is making huge strides in moving to the cloud and off. And Microsoft, it's now called Microsoft. So anyway, my point is Cisco could do all kinds of things. I'm just saying that the old model of charging, $3,000, for a 24-port switch, and then SmartNet contracts that are going to make the, TCO of that switch, $25 million over 5 years. It's just not there, right? Other companies are catching up to that. Ubiquiti being one of the ones that I've used a lot, and so on and so forth. So that dominant force of Cisco is changing. The network concepts are there. So now let me get back to this. The reason you still see 3 Cisco certifications here in this list as like these are the top certifications you want to go after in 2020 is simply because nobody else has one. Now I know you're like, well, wait, Juniper does. Well, yeah, but Juniper's a small segment of equipment. Well, wait a second. Doesn't even Ubiquiti? Well, yeah, but nobody even knows about it. Like the idea of a good, solid certification to put that in there. And so let me go where my mind is taking me here. A lot of people say, oh, well, certifications get you started, but then you don't need them once you have a career. Well, if you want to keep growing in technology, which you have to in order to survive, that's where certifications are a must. And so much I could talk about here. Certifications, all they are is a way of grouping knowledge you need in one place, right? If you think about it, what is the CCNA certification, right? One of the most popular certifications in the world. It's just a grouping of knowledge that says, this is what you need to really understand. And here's what I want you to catch. Networking. You need to understand networking. The fact that you do it by typing in the enable command on a Cisco device is superfluous. It's like, okay, that's great. That'll help you on a Cisco device. But what you need to know is there's this thing called privilege modes. Every device has them in the world. You're going to have to figure out how to do it on a Cisco device and fill in the 1,000 other brands of devices that are out there. That's where we're going. Or, there's this thing called static routes. You need it. Not just on Cisco devices. You see where I'm going right now, right? Right? Sorry, I keep glancing to make sure that that YouTube isn't dying on me again. You need it, and that's what you're going to need for the future. So, is the Ccna valuable? Absolutely. Why? Because it gets you a thing on your resume that can open the doors for employer. Blah blah blah. But the main reason that I'm telling you it's valuable is because it takes everything that you need to get started in networking. It just happens to have a Cisco slant to it and puts it in one place. Now that tickles in my mind and maybe in yours. What about Network Plus? And then I'm way off on that. I'm going to come back to your questions in just a second. What about Network Plus? And that's where I'm now saying, what about Network Plus? In the last year, I've taken the Cisco CCNA, which has radically changed from what it used to be, and I've taken the Network Plus exam from CompTIA. So I'm looking at the comments and saying there's no video. I'm just going to keep talking. I hope there is. So I've seen both of those, and I think the Network Plus exam, at least from an exam perspective, is a little more, I would say, knowledge testing than the CCNA. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Good. Appreciate it, guys. Everybody can see me. The new CCNA has become 102 questions of like rapid fire. Do you get this? Do you get this? Do you get this? Network Plus, I was like, wow, that was a really thought-provoking exam. It makes you really think about things. And that's so I'm going to land my plane and then I'll just hit the question. I'm sorry. I got to get rid of that as guy. As you're gone. Poof. Wait, that didn't work. You're gone again. Poof, there we go. What was I talking about? The knowledge. Okay, the knowledge of networking is what you need. The Cisco specifics, and the reason I say that is I see a lot of folks really stressing about memorizing commands, like they're in the CCNA. And yeah, if you're going after the CCNA certification, you need to know the commands. But the big thing is knowing the concepts in today's world are so much more valuable because you're going to see them in AWS. You're going to see them in Azure. You're going to see them in enterprise networks. You're going to see them in small business networks. But what equipment you're using is going to change all over the place, or even the non-equipment, the software-based network engine of the cloud, right? All of that is where that's at. Okay, so good. I'm gonna jump to the question. I'm just gonna start from Angels because it's right there at the bottom. What cert do you recommend after the CCNA? As a matter of fact, wait, hang on. Subscribe to the channel. That just reminded me. I did a whole video on exactly that. That's on this channel right now. And I think the title of it is "What You Should Do After You Get Your CCNA." So I'll just let that one answer that. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Hey, funny thing about commands is a lot of time it depends, and that's you're 1,000% right. Can I just give you the life of a real world engineer, right? You know the concept of VLANs, let's just say. You walk into a network and you're like, oh, this has HP equipment. Never dealt with HP equipment. This is literally my story. I've never dealt with HP equipment. Okay. I know that I need to do VLANs and I know that thing probably supports it. So let me figure it out. Google, right? Okay. Got it. HP does it this way, blah, 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 right? Oh, wow, I'm in AWS. Okay, I need to separate these VMs from these VMs because that's the database, that's the front-facing. Okay, how do I do that? You see where I'm going, right? I know the concept of VLANs. How I implement that is different. And what was just being said there is even within Cisco, iOS XE, like depending on what flavor of iOS you're using, those commands will even change. So memorizing commands is not it. Get the concept, and that's the deep work that it takes, right? A lot of people will memorize commands like, oh yeah, I remember that's how I do the VLAN. The real deep is like, do you get it? Do you know why you'd set up multiple VLANs? Do you know, you get the idea, right? Okay. Ahmed saying that's why the new CCNP doesn't have any simulations. Yeah, all the simulations have been stripped out. And that is a good point. I wonder if that's why Cisco did it. They're like, we want you to know the concepts more than anything else. Anyway, so what about CCSI? Is that still a thing? Yes, CCSI is still a thing. And you should check with Cisco on that. New CCNA, it seems to be lacking in collaboration. Why is that? The new CCNA is lacking in a lot of the stuff that it had, and not in a bad way. Cisco was like, let's get rid of all the CCNAs and just have the one where people start and then they can go to their specializations, right? So they just re-engineered. Like the new CCNA is like base concepts that you need for networking, right? All the other specialties have gone to the CCNP side of things. Salute from Oregon. Oregon. That's not how you say it. Oregon. Let's see. Jared, want to become a network architect? What certifications do you recommend? I don't. Network architect comes over time, grade, and experience. And that's, coming back to this Robert Half technology survey. That's when you come down here and you look at these, these salaries, which are just insane. Like network architect, they're like, oh yeah, and I'm reading this wrong because I'm sure somebody from Robert Half is like, he's putting it like, I'm like fake news right now, right? So the reason that it's saying 117,000 for a starting network architect is they know that you can't be a network. There's starting network architect is an oxymoron. You don't start there. Right? You get there as you design more and more and more networks, and you're like, okay, I've got the best principles in the design of how this should work, right? So that's the big thing right there, right? Adam is saying, I feel like if you can demonstrate your knowledge from past experience, maybe that can help as well. Totally. And we are in a world where experience is king. Like, take certifications, take college degrees, take everything and shove it aside. If you've got experience and let me combine that with tenacity, like to go after it and go after it, like the sky's the limit. And thank you. I am worried about my coffee too. Thank you. 3-way handshake. I applaud you. And you're right. It is cold. So let me hit a few more of these. Already being outsourced. CCNA right now is way more different and advanced than I took in 2010. Oh yeah, that's just happening over time. And by the way, I mean, our kids in high school and junior high are taking technology classes. It's a different world than where I used to be. This is great. 1% of companies have the money to spend in network automation, like Cisco DNA centers. Have you seen the price tags? Yeah, I wouldn't say 1%, but I would say it is a large company thing. And this is where I'll come back to the comment where people are like, networking is dead. It's all being automated. I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand what network automation is. It's taking all the stuff that you have to do in networking and doing it on a large scale. It's not like, so I'm going to say something that's going to sound really dumb, but I want to say it this way. So people that are saying networking is dead, it will be like, oh, you don't walk into any customer. So I've done a lot of consulting in my day, and I just doing a quick time check. I've done a lot of consulting in my day, and you don't walk into a customer today or in 10 years and be like, so, we're going to set you guys up here for a complete technology solution. I'm going to start with the network, but don't worry. There's no cost to that. It's totally automated, right? No, that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. Networking will get easier. There will be things where it's like, oh man, I remember back in the day when I used to have to type in all that, but now I just click and I plug that in. It like network. There is no like, oh yeah, automation. You don't need network engineers anymore. Network engineers are becoming more equipped is what the future looks like, right? Okay, so let me scroll back down. Okay, so network engineers can work remotely from now on, maybe. But you still have to rack and stack. You still have to have people that are installing the network equipment either for you or working heavily with you. So most small and mid-sized businesses don't even want to spend money on Ubiquiti, let alone Cisco. They want Netgear devices. They have to sell them on Ubiquiti to even get them that far. And that I would say you're probably working with the wrong kind of company. And let me say this: the reason I've been talking about Ubiquiti so much in recent days is because I've been using them for probably 10 years now, maybe a little bit more, and they've proven their reliability. It only takes one situation where you're in a network, and I know we threw Netgear out there, but I would say that's one of them, that I've been there and suddenly the whole network goes down. Nobody cares how much money you save. I mean, if you look at the price difference, it's like, okay, that was we'll just say $1,000. Let's go extreme. $1,000, $5,000 less than that 48 port switch or that firewall or that. Watch it go down once. Nobody cares at that point because every minute they're losing way more money than what they would have if they just would have spent that. That's the perspective that people need. So let me say that I've gone through experience where I set up a school. Okay, last story. There's so many questions. So I set up a school on an extreme budget network. To my shame, they were like, "We don't want that. We don't want that. We want single points of failure everywhere. We don't have the money." And I was like, "Okay, we'll do it." So they were running a student test. It was, I don't know, it's the new version of the SAT, right? ACT, whatever they call it now. There's different names. Everybody's on laptops. Everybody's online. The firewall goes down during the exam. Thousands of students are testing. They don't care. Think of, and I can tell you the ripple effect. The ripple effect of that was like, weeks of rescheduling, exams that were lost, parents that were like almost grabbing picket signs and standing outside of the school like, I can't believe you did this. Like students, thousands of students that are sitting there like, you remember what it was like, right? When you're taking an exam, you're like, oh man. And all of a sudden, halfway through the exam, bam, it's all gone. Like good job saving $5,000 on your firewall deployment. what? Like, I'm like going through that. And that's the thing is some businesses haven't gone through that. Some network engineers haven't gone through that. Going through that will make you go, I will never, ever cut corners again. I will never, ever go budget, because in the end, what you pay is way more than what you perceive that you saved in that. Like, so are there networks that you can design on a budget? Yeah. But those are the ones that if it goes down, everybody's like, oh, well, that's all right. We got our filing cabinet right here. This is how we work, right? The fact of every employee, I mean, and how many businesses do that, right? The fact of every employee stopping right then and not able to do anything else, that's a reality. And that's why I almost feel like I'm preaching at you right now. That's why I'm telling you, when that happens, nobody remembers that they saved $5,000 on that. They're all looking at you and going, why didn't you blah? And when you're like, blah, 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 they're like, excuses. Why did, you don't want to be there, right? That was such a rant off of somebody saying Netgear. Netgear is great. Okay, so back to what we're talking about. Man, I feel like if I could just convey how much that is. Okay, so greetings from Greece. Thank you, Dream Traveling, for lightening me back up. Greetings from Greece. Ccna is more to give you the cheese than to make you go for the cake. More to give you the cheese than to make you go for the cake. Well, actually, no. I'm I see what you're saying. Like CCNA is kind of like a lightweight. There's a lot of people that can do well with just a CCNA. There's a lot of people that have no certifications and they do well. The CCNP, I think, is becoming more of like, okay, I want to do that. Tell me how I should do that. And this is why I'm coming back to the start of this. What is the most valuable certification in 2020, right? Hang on, let me get back here. These are the top certifications that you see in the list, right? The one that's the most valuable is the one that you use to accelerate your career to a whole new level. You know what I mean? That's the most valuable certification. All a certification is a box of knowledge. The reason that I love certifications, and I will always have some finger in certifications, is because it's that authoritative box of knowledge that can get so many people on the right track. Otherwise, everybody's designing their own little unique whatever it is off of Googling and finding YouTube videos that they hope is accurate, right? Certifications is like this is how you do it. What it was, this is how we do it, right? This is how we do it. That's the certification world. That's how you do it. Now, if you decide to go outside and create your own thing, great. But this is the way Cisco supports it. That's the value of certification right there. So other things. What is, okay, InfoSec Pat. Thank you. I was chatting with him before we all started. By the way, Pat, now that I have you virtually on video, I've been watching InfoSec Pat for probably, I don't know, it's been like a year since you've been doing what you're doing. He is just creating videos and creating he's super certified and he's just going at it. And I see a lot of the stuff that you create and I'm like, that is really good. Like I'm rooting for you, man. So anyway, he said, what is the next cert that you are getting? I am going after, I know you're going to be like, I am now going after my PMP certification. What is that? Project management. It's to the point. So let me explain. I'm at the point right now where technology wise, I get it. Like there's a gob of stuff I don't know, but I look at it and I'm like, I could figure it out. I've been in technology long enough that I'm like, okay, I get it. Now I want to get to a point where I'm like, this is the right way to do it. And let me tell you this. Here's a little secret. The PMP certification is an utter, I sure hope no one's watching me from the PMI. That's the people who created this. It is an utter waste of time. It is memorizing terms and so first off, to even get a PMP certification, you have to have 4,500 hours, 4,500 hours of actual project management experience. The PMP is just there to be like, yes, we approve what you've already done. You're already a project manager. We're just going to say you've memorized the terms in this. But the beauty, and the reason I'm going after the PMP certification is because it's forcing me to open my brain to new stuff. Like, I hate it. I will tell you, going through the PMP training that's out there, it's horrible. It's just like, here's a term, memorize. Here's what stakeholder means. Here's what gold plating means inside of a project. Like, here's what all of that stuff means, right? And it's like, okay, but it makes you think in new ways. So, long answer, short question. Next, I'm going after project management. So exposed to internet? Good question. What's more relevant for network engineers, learning Python or learning PowerShell? Great question. And I would say, do you like Linux or Windows more? Because they can do mostly the same stuff. And I'll bring you into a conversation I was actually having with one of the largest sports organizations in the United States. It was actually a great conversation. The network engineers for this group, they were talking to me because they were like, hey, we would love to understand how we can glue our IP address management into our monitoring system, into our asset inventory. And we were having a full-on API discussion. Like, okay, so we can send this command from here to here, and then that will do this, and then this will do this. And I go, okay, so what are you using to make that go? That's going back to the question that you just asked. PowerShell or Python? And that's exactly what I said. Because either one will work. It's just which do you prefer? Do you like English or Spanish better? Do you like French or German? They're just languages, right? And you can do virtually the same stuff. It's just which one you prefer. That's better, right? I would say, so Chara, I'm just reading the questions. I would say both if you're going to becoming a network engineer that works with Microsoft systems. Yes, exactly. It's just depending on which language you want. Okay, guys, I've got, I'm going to say 3 minutes left until I have to jump onto another call at 9 o'clock my time. So we'll wrap up there. But any other questions that you guys have? I'm just scrolling up. Matthew Maplecat is saying Matthew VG has a complete cert. We'll show you how you can finish work. I'm curious. Matthew VG. I'll have to look that up. Are there programming inserts? Is Francisco saying? Yeah, maybe answer that question a different way. So even the CCNA now has scripting, little taste of automation at the end of it. Is the CCNP worth it? Relative question. Depends what you do with the CCNP. The CCNP is, again, they're just boxes of knowledge. And what you do with that box of knowledge is totally up to you. I still have those big books. Oh, so, yeah. So when I was taking the question or the picture for this, I was talking to Nathan, the guy who helps me do a lot of what I do. And I said, let's use so this is actually the first certification I ever got was ISO Server 2000, and I wrote the book for it. That's, by the way, this thing. So okay, this is what I'm going to end with because this is a great example. 2000, right? How old was I? I'm 42 now. I was 22 years old. It was actually the year before. It was 1998. I was teaching Microsoft certifications. Someone came to me, I didn't even know who it was at the time, saying, hey, we'd love to have you write a book on some of the stuff that I'd never written anything before. And you know what I said? Okay, that sounds interesting. And this became like probably the next nightmare year of my life. I learned about things like passive voice. I learned about things like, how because this is actually a college textbook is where they use that or used. It's not used anymore. But the point is that it was a ton of work, and I would say probably at least 3 times in that I was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. It was 2 a.m, and so my point in framing all of that is that it's stuff like that. So when people say, what certification should you get? I would say grab, oh man, I almost spilled my coffee. Grab any one of the certifications on that list and just go at it. Get it. You know what I mean? Like get it done and then look around and be like, okay, now what opportunities do I have with this certification? Like so much of what we do, and then I gotta run. So much of what we do is searching for what should I get. And let me say, 2 months ago, I started into project management, PMP certification. About a month ago, I was like, this thing is dumb. Like, this is like, there's so much just nonsense in this certification. And you know what I did? Set my time block on my calendar. All right, tomorrow I'm going to go through it again and until I can tell you the 5 stages of a project, until I can tell you the 10 knowledge area, until I can memorize the 47 processes that you need to know to get your PMP certification. That's thank you, Harris. 1 minute left. Yeah. And then I got to go. That's what you need. Go after any one of those certifications on the list and have the tenacity to see it through. Don't doubt yourself 1 month in and then change and then change and then change. Stick it through all the way to the end, then come out with the certificate and say, now what do I do? Right? That's it. All right. I got to run. Thank you guys. This has been fun. We will do this again. Talk soon.